Guys, welcome to the podcast. This week, we have on Johnny Lowe, writer and creator and actor in Unstable. This guy created Unstable. He wrote Unstable. He stars in Unstable. We were in Unstable with him. He wrote our characters. He's a freaking great dude. We get super into it. It gets super silly. It's super fun. We're also on tour. We're in Appleton, Wisconsin this week. 3 shows. Check them out, guys. You will not regret it. We get into it with the audience, Q&A session, stand-up. Everyone has a lot of fun. The reviews are in, and it's hot, okay? So if you're in the Wisconsin area, check out the shows. Go to chadandjt.com for tickets. We also have merch dropping next week, and I'm super excited about this merch. It's like, I've never been so excited about dropping merch ever because super sleek, clean design, stuff you would find in a surf shop, except you're repping Stoke Nation. You're supporting the dogs. You're just going to look good. I can't wait to show it to you guys. I'm like so fired up on this. I've never been more fired up than I am on this merch. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We're also brought to you by a new sponsor that I'm so stoked to bring to you guys because it has to do with doggies. And you guys know that I love doggies. I love my doggie. Lola, you know I love you, right? That's a confirmative. That's an affirmative. With your dog, you want to make sure that they're healthy, that they're happy. And the best way to do that is with a good diet. And so you want to get good, high quality stuff and affordable that can be delivered. That's human grade. That's recommended by vets. And that's nutritionally balanced. And Farmer's Dog delivers all of that. I'm a huge fan of Farmer's Dog. Lola eats Farmer's Dog. Look at her coat. Look how happy she is. Guys, if you want this for your dog, get 50% off your first box by going to thefarmersdog.com/go deep. Go to thefarmersdog.com/go deep for 50% off your first box. That's thefarmersdog.com/go deep for 50% off your first box. Yeah, let's start the show.
What's with deep? Going deep. Chad and JT.
All right, let's flick the pectoralis and sizzle the bacon. What's up, Stokers of Stoke Nation? This is Chad Kroger coming in with the Going Deep with Chad JT podcast. Me with my compadre, Jean Thomas. What up?
Boom clap, Stokers. And if I may, I have a quick tag for that.
Dude, hit me.
Let's flick the pectoralis and get major in that ass.
Dude. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Do we add a food group in there?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's get major in that squash.
I like ass, but then even more.
But like smush squash looks like an ass.
Right.
If you do like the spaghetti style. Or even if you just take it out of the peeling and just watch it sit in a bowl.
I love it all, dude.
For sure.
What kind of squash are you buying?
Squash? Is that not what squash is like?
I don't think I've ever looked at a squash and seen an ass.
That's probably true. That's real, dude. That's real. It's crazy how it's in the eye of the beholder. Well,
yeah.
Have you ever looked at any food and seen an ass?
Yeah. Like I feel like
Pumpkin.
now I'm getting self-conscious.
A cake?
I was going to say peach.
Oh, yeah. But people say that.
Dude,
people say
yeah.
that. She's got
And
a
they kind of
peach,
have like
or
the
he has a
little,
peach.
the kind of like, yeah, exactly. Let's not.
No, I'm
you
cool.
know.
I'm cool.
There's like a little fuzz on it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like a little fuzz on it.
Have you ever gotten fired up from looking at a fruit?
An animal? No, a fruit.
I guess, you know
fruit.
what?
Have I ever gotten fired up that way? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Was it because of the food, or was I just already fired up? That's a chicken or the egg thing.
I was about to
eggs
say,
also get me torqued up.
there might not be an answer to that.
Yeah.
I've seen squash that looked like a nutsack.
That I
And
can
that
see.
fired me up.
Of course I can
Oh,
see
I've
that.
seen
Yeah,
that.
so I was like, that's power.
Yeah.
And they're
that's
big
Like
nuts.
life creation right
Yeah.
Yeah, those are god nuts.
there. Yeah.
Substantial.
Dude, by the way, we were joined by Johnny Lowe. Welcome
Johnny, thank you,
to
man.
the pod.
Thank you guys for having me.
It's
We're
an honor
excited
to
to
I
have
love this
you on.
podcast.
That's kind, dude.
I
Thank you,
am.
man.
I am not making
We love
it
it
up.
too.
Yeah, you love it too.
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Yeah. It's probably my favorite.
You're like I fucking.
I got a
hate
couple
you.
other ones I really like, but this one's definitely in the mix.
Top 5.
The pod.
Do you have other pods you listen to?
I'm not. So it's funny. I'm not a huge podcast listener, which I think actually should make the compliment even heavier.
Dude, preach.
Yeah, I like this one. I have a buddy who has one called Hollywood Handbook that I like.
Oh, Sean Davenport, or Hayes Davenport and Sean Clemens?
Yeah, Sean. Yeah, who Sean wrote on Unstable.
Dude, those guys are hilarious. That podcast is so funny. And everything they write on is hilarious,
They're
too.
great, yeah. Yeah, everything they write on, especially
Our show.
Our show.
Yeah, Unstable.
Yeah. But I like them. And I will embarrassingly admit that I like Smartless.
Oh, dude, yeah.
It's like one of those things that I feel like it's like liking the Yankees though. Like it's so, you know,
Right.
They're just, it's like, oh, you like the podcast with like Jason Bateman and Will Arnett and Sean
It's like
Hayes,
liking like water or air.
Yeah.
It's like everyone likes it.
Yes.
It's an element.
It's more interesting to not like that probably.
Have you watched the HBO
It's
show?
great.
Dude, it's good. Yeah.
It's great.
They're
Yeah.
so fun.
I hated how much I liked it. To be honest,
They're
I was-
funny dudes. I've been watching the clips on TikTok. They riff.
They're really funny, and they're all like really kind people too. But again, it doesn't make it any easier to like, if that makes sense.
I think I'm watching the HBO show. It's like when you can see Sean smiling more.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he's so sweet.
Yes.
You already know he's like the sweetest guy. But then when you're watching it, you're like, he's like this sweet ball of energy that's absorbing all the, you know what I mean?
So now when you listen to it, you picture him smiling.
Yeah, I guess
and being sweet in the background.
I didn't see as many smiles when I was listening to
What
it.
do you think, when people like listen to your podcast exclusively and then see you guys? What do you think is the realization they have?
Wow.
Go ahead.
You.
I've seen some comments where like, oh, they look exactly like how I pictured.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I actually don't disagree with that. I feel like you guys, your vocal energy
Right.
is accurately represented by your physical presence.
Thank you,
dude,
man.
thanks.
Yeah.
I did one pod where I talked about like it was about like dating and stuff like that, and maybe I over talked about my prowess, and then a girl commented, "That's not what I thought he'd look like." And that's all she said, and maybe I'm reading into
That
it
could be
too
a good
much.
thing.
But yeah, it could have been good.
That could be a
That
good
could have been
thing.
positive.
Right.
I should follow up and be like, "What up?"
I
You
think,
should. How old was this comment?
It's like 6 months ago.
Follow up.
Yeah.
Wow.
I let it sit for a while. I played it cool.
You do have kind of a signature gravel, or how is it? Is it graveliness, or how would you describe it?
Yeah, I think it's like Van Morrison driving a Harley through gravel.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's what he was looking for too.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That's
It's like a guttural sort of low tone.
Have you seen the Tony Robbins documentary?
I have not, but I feel like I know enough about the Tony Robbins universe to get down with that. Why?
Okay. Do you like Tony?
I
Tony
love
R?
Tony.
I like him too.
Yeah.
He's powerful.
He is powerful. I'm
He-
not sure I agree with what
it's-
he's doing.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. But to watch him put that insanity into someone in front of a crowd and to turn them into whatever he wants them to be, that metamorphosis is powerful.
He is powerful, and I know that to be true because I'm scared to say anything bad about him. You know what I mean? He's like one of those people that, like, when you ask that question, the first thought in my mind was like, I don't want to say something bad about that guy. There's like a few people, I mean, not a few, but there's those rare people that when their name pops into your head, you're like, that guy could have me killed.
Like, yeah, it's like Saddam, Manson, Robbins.
Yeah.
He's
Dead in jail or at a speaking tour, they'll come after you.
That's right.
He's a very powerful crier.
That's
When he
very
cries,
true.
it's like Zeus crying.
Yeah, it's not weak.
No.
He gets stronger.
Yeah, he's like, I fucking feel this.
And if you collected those tears and just poured them onto your head every time you needed courage, you could run through a wall.
I heard they have like little bowls at the
tears.
Yeah,
It's
where
the communion. Actually,
Yeah,
you go
yeah.
drink it. Yeah, it's
He
also
cries on top of you. He's fucking huge.
it can
He's
be
way
used
above
as
you.
an
Yeah.
alternative to Viagra as well. Don't
Oh
ask me
hell
how.
yeah! We
Don't
need
ask.
something safer.
Yeah,
Dude, he's like, just dab it at the base.
yeah. You just rub around the base, and then by the way, that would be the scariest erection you've ever had.
Yeah,
That's
because it would be enlightened. It would really know itself.
yeah. It's disappointed in you before you've done
Right.
anything.
You're not living up to your potential.
No. Yeah.
It breaks down walls.
Yeah. That had a double meaning there.
It did, yeah.
I like that.
I'm pretty fired up on it.
I was fired up on that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, man.
Well
Where'd you go to
done.
high school?
I went to high school. I went to a college prep boarding school in Carpinteria, which is like just outside of Santa Barbara, where I grew up. It's called Kate.
Oh, damn.
And I I was a day student, so I went home, but my friends were boarders there. It was an interesting place. We had a surf team, which was cool. I was on the surf team. It was hard. It was so hard. It was harder for me personally. It was harder than Stanford, which feels weird. It shouldn't be like that.
I went to a boarding school too.
Yeah.
I almost applied. I wanted to go to Kate or
Really?
Thatcher. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's incredible.
I went to the East Coast though, because
Which one?
Hotchkiss.
I've heard of Hotchkiss.
All my siblings went, but I had the same thing where I went to college. I was like, this is a breeze.
Breeze.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
It's like you go from college with a bunch of rules and hard stuff to like you're free.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
They were like, we have to break your back to prepare you for the onslaught that is an Ivy League school, and then you get there and they're like, professors are tenured. They just want you to learn, but they don't.
It's more talking
give a
and like
shit
just
about how you
idea battling and stuff.
They're just like, let's have fun in here. Like, I don't know.
How many hours of homework did you guys have?
Oh my god. I had like on average 4 to 6 hours of homework a night.
Yeah.
That's
high school.
insane. There's
Yeah.
youngsters out listening to this who probably have that much homework.
I think it's getting worse for kids.
They're giving them more?
I feel like they're giving them more. Although I do know now that kids don't have to take SATs. They don't have to
really?
take SATs or ACTs. A lot of colleges don't accept those.
Oh, interesting.
What do they take now?
I think they don't. It's optional to take a standardized test now,
Interesting.
from what I know.
I think we've gone too far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
To be clear, you mean just in this conversation, not as a society.
No, as a society. Okay, good. Yeah, I don't want people to mix that up. No, I mean, we should bring the SATs back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys should campaign for that.
People would turn on us, dude. People don't like to, I've talked about it before. People don't like talking about SATs. It's more sensitive than money, I think. People get real on their heels.
But SATs.
I'm nervous even talking about it now.
Right.
I feel like
SATs
we're talking about like
and
race
STDs
issues.
are both.
Don't
they're-
go there.
Yeah. It's like you guys could champion them both at the same time because they're only one letter away from each other.
Yeah,
I've mixed
tough
that up.
tests.
People be like, what'd you get on your SATs? I'm like, I got herpes. I got herpes.
I remember you wrote that on. We were applying for something. You wrote that on your.
Yeah, I was like,
application.
herpes, the penis kind. I think that's
Yeah.
2.
Yeah.
The deuce.
You still got the job though.
Mhm.
Did you?
They appreciated
Yeah.
my honesty.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They said just
Were
bring
you a
some Purell and
Were you
we're
a
happy to
sperm
have
donor,
you.
or what was the job that you?
Dude, I wish I could donate sperm.
I wish I could. I've always. That's been something that I'm like, because I think you can do it anonymously, right?
Yeah, you don't have to tell them who you are. Some people leave tapes for like the follow up.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, what up, dude?
That's something that I
needed
feel
50
like-
bucks for an amp. I love you.
Like, imagine if the three of us had a week off with nothing to do. That would be a fun activity.
Yeah, merge.
And
all
to
of
be
our
clear, we need to
jizz.
block off a full week because it's like, I would want to prep myself,
And they
I
have
want to
high
be as healthy as possible when I slam it.
and it's viral.
For sure.
Yeah.
I want to be juiced.
Yeah, that would be. We'd be glowing afterwards.
Yeah.
They have high standards though. I've heard.
But I have a thing
Couple
on
of
that.
studs right here.
Yeah,
Oh, dude.
we're hosses,
Thanks,
dude.
man.
Come on.
I had a thing too. Dude, I was going to lie
Yeah.
on my documentation, like fudge all the numbers.
Yeah.
Just be like 6'6", 220,
Yeah.
volleyball at Pepperdine.
SATs.
SATs,
Yeah.
herpes. I mess it up. Herpes. I'm like, oh, it's almost perfect. And then just
Yeah.
give away like 500 of them, and then just have like, or 1,000,000 of them, and just have a million, just trick the world into making 1,000,000 of me.
Yeah, just
Yeah, dude.
Genghis Khan that shit.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
dude.
Man.
You walk into like a couple months later, you get called into some official office, and it's like Scooby Doo. They're like, you almost got away with it too if it wasn't
Yeah.
for the
The
SAT
herpes.
herpes thing. We
Every
just caught this
time.
one small mistake.
Dude.
Yeah.
Do you ever have that fantasy that you watched Road Trip?
Yeah.
That fantasy of like going there and have the hot nurse do the prostate, milk the
Oh,
prostate.
yeah. The dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if yeah.
I've never done that,
I was about to say I don't know if I don't know.
but Sean William Scott really sold
He
it.
sold the shit out
Where
of it.
I'm like, it looks cool.
Those movies, by the way, that like, and I'm blending together a sort of a few different eras, I feel like, but they're similar in like American Pie, Road Trip.
You can even go Little She's All Daddy. It's not as
She's All-
raunchy,
yeah,
but you're
but
thinking more of the raunchy
I was gonna say like
ones.
the raunchy ones as a kid, like nothing ever hit like that for you
No.
guys since, did it? For me, like I remember the first time, like, or Van Wilder's another example. Like,
Unrated Van Wilder
Oh.
DVD. where you see boobs.
Let's be real.
in
That's the
menu.
first stuff
Just
we were
say
jerking
what-
off to.
Yeah,
oh,
say
yeah.
what
Yeah.
unrated means. You're just like, you see that and your brain just sees boobs.
Yeah.
And then you're in the back of your friend's dad's Suburban driving to like Palm Springs and you just got the titties on the screen.
I don't relate to that specific situation,
Right,
but
right. Right.
I'm there with
You didn't know Wes.
in your mind's eye,
Yeah.
in mine too. I'm with you. Yeah.
No, those movies were, it was like an event. I've been wondering about that a lot too, because even with comedy, I like think the stuff that when I first moved to LA still feels like it was the best comedy I had seen.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just nostalgia because it was my formative years, or if it was, because there are eras that are better, right? Like 70s cinema is supposed to be the best, like early 2000s television.
Yeah.
So I do know there's moments in time where the art is better, but it seems too coincidental that all the shit I think is the best is when I was like 14 to 22.
I think it's probably a bit of both. Yeah.
It was good,
Yeah,
right?
especially the film landscape is so skewered right now that
Because it's all just tentpole like superhero shit.
it's very much. I mean, this is not a hot take. You know, this is just very much so
Make it
like
sizzle.
it's all very like two ends of the spectrum, nothing in the middle. It's like you either have multi-$100 million, you know, Fast Furious, you know, Marvel-esque stuff, or it's like
A24.
an
just
A24 indie movie that's beautiful and that you and 300,000 other people watched.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's a strange time. It's probably like, as a, you know, somebody who likes to write comedy, it's a, when you think of like, where's the space for a non-niche comedy, adult comedy even, at all anymore? Like, what's the most recent, think of movies like Wedding Crashers or The Hangover, or even, by the way, I don't think you need to go that far back to like I thought Game Night was very good. That was
People
like an
like that
adult
one.
comedy. I would not putting it on the same like echelon as those other ones, but it was a good adult comedy. Like, when is the last good one that came out?
Yeah, I think I've heard people say like Neighbors was the last
That's
one.
even older than
That's
Game
like
Night.
2017 or
Yeah.
something. No, I've been thinking about that too, because I mean, I know you've been picking in at the writer's strike.
Yeah.
And I do think the writers are getting hosed on how much they're getting paid. Like, it's just like the numbers aren't going up and residuals aren't there. And then the AI component is like hard to wrap my whole head around, but that's obviously very threatening. But I do feel like the streamers and the studios are in trouble too. Like, I feel like there's kind of an existential crisis right now where the eyeballs are just on the phone, and I don't know if like the marketplace is as robust as it used to be for like traditional stuff.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I do know is that the three of us in this room right now can crack it.
Well, see, I really knew I was
Yeah.
taking us into deep waters and I was getting way over my skis on it. But I looked myself in the invisible mirror and I said, "You got this, brother."
And you just plowed through it.
Yeah, and because I've been at parties with friends and they've like said their piece and I'm like, I have something to contribute to this.
I know how to solve the strike.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm smart. I see the Matrix, dog. And I'm like, because even like one thing that made me think this way too is like, and this made me really sad. It was giving me my beef of the week. Is like, maybe some people won't care as much as I do, but like HBO changing their name to Max.
It's insane.
Like, that was crazy.
No,
to
it's
me.
insane.
Like, HBO was I think maybe the greatest, like, artistic brand of definitely my lifetime. Like, I don't even know what would be close to it. Like, I don't know, like Interscope Records or something like
Yeah,
that. Like,
I think it's similar to what A24 is on the path to establishing. They're not at HBO's level of how long they've done it, but it would be like A24 suddenly being like, you won't know it's us when we make movies, which is silly because I go and I'll seek A24 movies out because I know the type of content they make.
Yeah.
The HBO Max to Max thing, I'm convinced there's some piece of data or something we don't know as a public, because it's unanimous that it's a terrible idea.
Right.
So what do they know that we don't? Right? Like,
To me, I'm like, did he make the decision? And even though there's like, you know, public outcry, he's like, I gotta stick to my guns.
So people are pissed. People are pissed.
Just
They're
boil,
pissed
yeah,
like
for
this.
sure. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You get sad, right, when you go on the thing and you click Max now.
Well, I think ever since like the articles started coming out, people are like, what the fuck is that?
HBO's the brand. Max is
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
It's literally a nothing.
Max was where I went for boobs when I was young. That was the only thing Max had on HBO. They had more boobs after 10.
Yeah.
Nice.
By the way,
Softcore pornography.
You might be onto something.
But I kind of think
that's why they're
That's why they're
I kind of think he's like, we're gonna change it to Max, and then people are like, what the fuck? And he's like, I'll look weak if I
go
renege.
back?
Yeah, if I go back.
that could be it.
I kind of think that's what it is.
He just slammed his memo down, and everyone went like, "Oh, this is a joke. You know, this is stupid, right?" And
Yeah.
in his head, it was just one like neuron firing, like one decision tree where he just went, "Don't look like a pussy,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he just went, "No, I'm serious," and that's why it happened.
Give me some of what that guy's got. I like that.
Yeah.
I want that single neuron shit.
Yeah.
It's scary to think about how many important decisions in the history of time have been made because some dude didn't want to be a pussy.
I think a lot.
War,
Yeah.
dude.
War, war.
Yeah, they just push each other into a corner like Khrushchev and Kennedy. They're like, what the fuck are you going to do in Cuba, bitch?
Dude, Troy.
Troy?
Dude, King
Troy.
of Sparta.
Yeah,
Sparta, sorry, Sparta.
I thought that was on purpose, dude.
Nah, dude, shit.
Sparkle.
Yeah,
Sparta.
Jake, King of Sparta. Dude. Mental house.
cool,
he's
dude.
like Paris. It was made me look like a bitch.
Yeah.
Sparta.
Sparta, dude.
Sparta. Just as we keep coming back to it, just get sparkles.
Yeah,
Sparkles, dude.
dude.
Those sparklers are tough, dude.
Dude,
Yeah,
Fucking
where even
Sprite.
was Sparta?
Sparta. I think it's
Like 10 miles south of the 405, I think.
Yeah, I've never been.
You get jammed in traffic, brother. It sucks.
You're on your way to Sparta.
Dude, those dudes, I guess they did. They would shine up their shit so shiny that when the opposing army, which was like just regular dudes who got conscripted into a fight, they weren't professional fighters like the Spartans. When they saw how shiny
Spartans.
and the Spartans, I'm sorry, the
Sparkins.
Sparkles, when they saw how shiny the sparkles were, they'd like piss their pants.
Yeah.
And I think we even do that in football now. Like I guess,
I would piss my pants.
yeah, you pee, right?
Yeah,
And they had luscious flow.
yeah.
Great
Which is like
hair.
a sign of
I would
being
die
like a
really
great
young
warrior.
if I lived in that time.
You'd
Nah,
figure
dude,
it
I
out,
think you
bro.
figured it out, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Dude, I could see with this. You could see with the spirit. of
Unless
war.
I was like Joffrey in Game of Thrones,
Right.
then I'm dying really young.
Would you play it up like sadist like that?
I think that would be my only shot. Like
Nah,
I
you
think
gotta
like
be weird. That's what I
because
do.
I'm a weak physical specimen for the most part. You know, like I go to a trainer a lot, and my max out like physique is like a normal male, and so I wouldn't be contributing to society much. I wear like contact lenses. I'm blind. I have asthma. Like
Right.
I'd be screwed.
But what about on the strat front?
On the what front?
Strategy.
Oh, strat front. That's what I'm saying. Is if you put me in like at the head of like a long table with like elders,
Yeah.
I'm doing something.
There we
Right.
go.
So if I can Joffrey it,
A
and
wise sage.
yes, I could be, and it doesn't need to be evil like Joffrey. I just need to command power like
Yeah.
that.
We need a wisdom SATs.
Dude, yeah.
Like throw some
Life.
parables at the kids.
That's life.
That's life. That's testing me every day, bro.
Yeah, I think my problem if I were in warfare is I would apologize to the enemy after shooting him.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
That's
I'd shoot
important.
him, I'd be like, oh, fuck, dude, I'm so sorry.
I'm so sorry.
That's good dramatically.
Yeah,
dude.
We
You're like,
could
I
film
shot your
that.
nuts off, dude.
That's good dramaturgically.
Yeah,
Dramaturgically.
Did y'all watch
Dude,
it?
I was just
Did you
listening.
guys watch
I was
it?
just listening to Jeremy Strong.
He's amazing.
Dude, he's
Incredible.
like, I think the canvas.
He was talking about that last shot, and he's like, there was a terrible metal clanging going on.
Dude, yeah,
And it was
yeah.
so loud. I
He-
got to a point where I just couldn't abide it anymore. I couldn't take it. I'm like, what do you mean? You had to like walk off?
Yeah.
I have one Jeremy Strong story, which is that someone I know ran into him, and I'm not outing him in any way because first I'll preface it by saying he's incredible. He's
Yeah.
one of, if not my favorite actor currently.
Whatever he's doing.
And
it's working.
by the way, I buy into his thing. Like I'm like, let him do whatever he wants. He's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
This person asked him essentially, they had just watched the scene in Succession, spoiler alert, where the siblings find out that Logan dies, and it's that long sequence. And they said, like, you know, what was that experience like for you? And he you know, regaled this person for like 10 minutes and then kind of drifted off into thought and went, you know, for a minute there, I felt like I touched the veil. And that was the last thing he said about it.
That's beautiful.
And I don't know what that means.
Yeah, what's the veil?
I don't know. I have no idea what that means. And he said it.
The veil
and
of death?
This person relayed it to me like he said it completely deadly serious.
Yeah.
And so he's so certain of these things he says, I believe, that if I were to stand next to him, I would feel so small because I don't know what he's talking about, but I feel like I should.
But it's real.
If I was as much of an artist as he was, I would immediately be like, "Oh, you almost touched the veil? Yeah, of course. No, the veil. Like I see it, but I haven't gotten that close to touching it."
Yeah.
And he almost touched it. So imagine what you have to do to touch it.
Wow.
I think you gotta just be. His whole day is committed to just making himself as like, not childlike, but as exposed a soul as possible, to the point where he can't do like normal shit. But then it
Yes.
comes through every time he's on camera because it's so pure.
Yes, he's phenomenal. I feel like this is allowed to be said on this podcast. Is very the vibe. But I popped a Zyn, and my throat's getting kind of dry. Is there a way I can get a water?
Yeah, bro.
Dude,
I'll just go
totally,
grab
yeah.
you.
You're in the Zimbabwe train?
I'm on the.
Zyn?
Yes, absolutely.
Dude, I
Get
took one of these at a show.
This is a 6 milligram
Jacked me
amount.
up too much on stage.
I saw you do that, and I was like, I don't know if that's the right
I
move,
almost
dude.
toppled, bro. I got
Dude,
water
yeah.
there.
Do you not do any Nick? Are you?
No, I'm a vape addict. I'm always on and off.
Same. That's the Zins helped me get off it.
Yeah.
I haven't vaped in over a year.
Oh, nice. Did they make you nauseous?
Yes. When I first started them, they
Yeah.
made me nauseous, and then I went back to vaping, and then I
Yeah.
went like, if I'm caught between two evils, I'd
Yeah.
rather be a little nauseous at first, and then you get used to it. Now I'm obviously fully addicted to them, but
Do you get a buzz still?
no, which stinks. If I quit for like a week, which I'll do every so often, then when I pop one back in, I'm on Mars.
Yeah.
But
That's always nice.
the only thing I still get is like a drip that sucks.
Right. Yeah. I always, especially if we have like important stuff, like when we were shooting Unstable,
Yeah.
I like made sure to quit before that because I always felt like for me, vaping will always make me super anxious.
Yes, it's really bad. Oh, legend.
But I do wonder because I always
Thank you, bro.
I always annoy JT on the road because I'm like, hey, can I like hit your vape? And then so I do wonder if that
Do you want
if when I get the urge,
Do you want one?
maybe after, because I'll probably
Like,
probably-
so good.
yeah, I'll probably boke on the pod. But what flavor is that mint?
This is chill.
It does hit hard. Dude, it hurts the gums a little bit, though.
By the way, I brought these. Speaking of chill, I brought these. These have been in my car for about 8
Those are
months.
sick.
I brought these because I felt like they might be the vibe in here.
Yeah.
Whoa.
In case we start going really fast.
You look like dude, speaking of speed, you look like an F1 driver.
Yeah.
You got that kind of vibe.
Do I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could be a driver for sure.
You're a little European. I could see you driving.
Yeah.
Hold on.
You need an accent, though.
What area you think?
Anywhere in Europe.
I can't do any accents.
Can you do Canadian? I'm racing for
What
Ferrari.
about it?
That was good.
What about it?
What about turn 5?
Just the worst. Let me
Hey,
do.
I'm Canadian, eh?
Do like British, like I'm racing my car. I'm losing acting jobs as we speak right now.
I could see you for like on Drive to Survive.
Yeah.
And you're in the training center, you're doing the rowing machine, and then you do a driving simulator.
What I love
think you'd
about
crush
that.
that.
show is how dramatic they make it seem when all of the drivers are incredibly wealthy
Yeah.
children for the most part.
Yeah.
There's a few that aren't, but for the most part, they're incredibly wealthy children who live the most incredible life any of us could imagine. They have access to everything they want, every, woman or man they want, and every room they want. And then they're like you said, it's like a camera walks into them on their crew machine and they're like, my labrum is aching. What will I do in Monaco?
Yeah,
and I'm like,
physical training's hilarious.
and I'm
too.
like, my guy, you might have to miss Monaco, but guess
Wow.
what? Like,
yeah, but missing Monaco?
you're gonna be okay.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess when you put it like that.
Bro, Monaco?
It's huge, dude.
Their workouts are funny, too, because, like, when you watch, like Hard Knocks for football players, it's like a dude squatting 600 pounds, and he's, like, screaming, and all these other, like, huge dudes are like, get it, brother, get it. And then you watch the Drive to Survive guys, and they have, like, two 2-pound balls in their hands,
Yeah, yeah.
and they're like
Yeah.
twisting back and forth. And
or they've got like the hand squeezy thing for grip strength, and they're like, and the guy's like, just one more.
And they're like, the thing about Landon is he will train relentlessly. He has to be the best. And it's just his eyes looking up and down a board.
Yeah, he's just like,
He's just scanning numbers. I'm
just
like,
looks like he's like, yeah. The one that I like when they've all decided they're like Daniel Ricciardo's like the clown of the crew, and then he'll like walk into a room and he has like a silly hat on. He has like a cowboy hat.
Yeah,
they're
he's
like,
wild that way.
and they're like, this guy, he's crazy.
Yeah.
He's so funny, and he's like does like a little like jump off the curb and like clicks his feet together, and they're like, I can't even. What's he gonna do next?
Yeah.
it is a low bar.
You know?
Athletes get the benefit of the doubt comedically. Because if they're funny
Yes.
at all, we're like, that dude's hilarious.
That's
but
right.
sometimes I'll be like, I don't know if that cut mustard at the open mic.
That's right. No, that's the right take.
Yeah, like I'll be like, Jaylen Brown's funny for an NBA player. But is he
Like-
funnier than Rory Scovel? No.
I don't think so. No,
How do you think Gronk would do well on
Gronk's-
open mic?
He did stand up.
but
Oh,
he's
he
not
did?
trying.
But
to
his
be
stand up
funny,
wasn't it was
He's too
He was
unself-aware.
brave.
Is it?
You were scared to say it wasn't good there.
well, it wasn't bad for he was better than me my first time, and he was on TV, so I'd be shaking in my boots, but but no, it wasn't like the other comics I thought had better sets.
To be clear, I'm gonna wear this for the rest of the.
If it makes you feel good,
No,
dog.
I'm not gonna do that. But at some point, you guys have to wear them.
Have you ever gone through that
throw 'em on.
phase?
What face?
Sunglasses 24/7?
Absolutely not. Should I?
Yeah.
Have you?
I've wanted to.
I wanted to.
I fantasize about it.
We had a comedian come in a couple weeks ago. He wore sunglasses during the thing. That was cool.
Non-ironically.
Yeah.
I don't think he likes eye contact.
Yeah, I heard it's when he's hungover he does that.
Oh, smart. You
So
don't
good-
drink anymore, right?
No, I'm sober. I've been sober for. I don't know why I said it like that. Over 5 years.
Wow.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And your dad's kind of famously in the program, right? I hope
He
you don't
is.
mind me saying.
No, he wouldn't mind, and I don't mind. He helped me get sober. He's been sober for over 30 years, and yeah, I mean, I think that's one of, if not the only cool thing about him, for sure.
So when you were drinking, were you like, "Oh, I'm gonna be different. I got my own like kind of I can handle it."
Yes, I think that I knew from a young age. I'm seeing myself in the monitor right now, and I'm so disappointed in myself.
You look badass,
but,
dude.
Yeah.
This looks sick.
As I talk about my sobriety, I think I knew I was an alcoholic at a pretty young age, and I spent a lot of time wrestling with that notion that you're talking about, where I'm like, I don't want to be my dad. Because he would come to me and be like, look at all the signs. The data's in front of you. And I would be like, well, I'm not you. I can handle it.
Right.
And then, you grow up.
Yeah.
But I got lucky for sure. It's tough.
Okay.
No, you. But it's just crazy how our brains like you get them. It's genetic. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the
Yeah.
things that spin me out, same things that spun my parents out. Like slightly different.
Yeah.
But all in the same family of like chaos. It's the line is so direct.
Was it self-imposed? Was there a moment where you're like, I need to stop?
It's a good question. Yes. I mean, I had my parents were good sort of hands-on parents in the sense that they threw a lot of obstacles at me when I was young and drinking still.
Mm-hmm.
That counselors and such, and but then it got to a point where it was clear to them and to myself that I wasn't going to stop unless I wanted to stop. And I remember my dad kind of basically saying like, you got the keys to your life. If you want to burn it down, like that's on you. And that was the first moment where I went like, oh, I have agency. This is my decision to make. And I think that was the seed that needed to be planted for me to then get sober. I didn't get sober right after that conversation. And then, you just have to do enough damage in your life, and it's individual to everyone. But like, for me, it was you'd hit a bottom and go like, that's it, and then not stop, and then go lower and lower, and it's like you just kind of hope and pray that you are one of the luckier people that the bottom isn't that low, you know? Because I can remember like gnarly stuff, you know. I just off the top of my head, like spring break in Cabo with my fraternity, and like ending up in like a hospital in Cabo, and then you know, going straight from the ER with my medical band still on, which I thought was so cool. It's like straight to, you know, Squid Row, and being like, oh, I'm back. And then that night, waking up at like 4 a.m, being like, I need to go back to the hospital again, and going, I'm never going to drink again. And then getting on the plane home early because I didn't want to be there, and then drinking on the plane, and then landing and being like, this is my last send tonight, and then going on like a 5-day bender, and then stuff like that, where it's just,
You couldn't push the stop button.
no. And there's a saying where, you know, you make these what are they like, I'll butcher this saying, it's so beautiful, but it's like the war room concessions with yourself, where it's the bunker talk, where it's just you in your head going like, all right, we fucked this, we're in pain, or we've screwed something up, like, let's fix it. And it when it's you in your head, you're screwed 99% of the time. That's why, you know, people who get help externally have a much better chance of fixing it.
Yeah, because the biggest voice in your head is the addict. That's the strongest negotiator.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's, there's a reason you got there in the first place. It's because your way of thinking is skewed. You know, it's a disease of perception and thinking.
Did you ever have? I remember, because I when I was like 24, I like took myself to like an outpatient thing, because I just had trouble stopping.
Yeah.
And one thing I struggled with though was, I was like, not that I didn't like earn it, but I was like, did I have to stop then?
Oh, of course, man. I think that's the biggest hurdle with getting sober young, is that unrelenting thought of like, did I have enough fun?
Right.
And you know, unfortunately, there's always like old timers in meetings that do that whole like, I've spilled more beer than you could have drank, you know?
They get competitive about it a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's just their way of coping. And the truth is, for me, and I can't speak for other people's experiences, like, I've had infinitely more fun in sobriety than I ever had drinking. And so it's just, that's what it goes back to. It's the literal disease of thought. It's a processing error in your computer chip that is your brain, where it's like, drinking equals fun, but the reality is it's the thing that's holding you back from having like healthy organic fun, which is 100% been the case in my life.
Yeah, I remember or a lot of times, especially when I first like stopped drinking, you know, I would always I'd have that fantasy thought of, because for me, drinking like helped me unlock who I thought I wanted to be.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is common. And then so I would have this fantasy thought of like me with all my college buddies just raging.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple times, you know, then I would do that after like, you know, a stint of sobriety. And it's just back like a vertical drop, just to like, not a vertical drop, but like just straight back to that misery.
Of course, yeah.
And then you get back to because you then you see like sobriety is kind of like the light, but then it's like there's this thing in your mind where you're like, but do I need like the excitement of like that's the thinking,
yeah,
of like
it's
the ups and downs.
Exactly.
The chaos is attractive.
Yeah.
It's lively.
Yeah.
It's like this breathing thing that's like, I don't know, it gives you a kind of devil-may-care negative excitement, like vitality that is hard to duplicate.
There's an interesting sort of data and or, you know, a line of thinking around what you're talking about, which is the thoughts are equally as intoxicating as the actual substance.
Right.
So, you know, there is, and I can't cite them, of course. This is the most like podcast thing ever. Someone being like, there's, you know.
Dude, don't even worry. People will correct you in the comments.
Perfect. So get ready to correct me. There are, as far as I know, like scientific experiments that measure sort of like the dopamine response in an addict. And one of the largest if not the largest, spikes is like if you're a heroin addict, that spike comes when you're driving to go get high. It's the thought of going like, I'm gonna go do it. And then when you do it, typically as an addict, you've numbed your receptors, so you're actually not getting the rush you thought you would get.
Yeah.
So the highest high is what you were talking about, and I had the same thing where I'd go, wait, if I get sober, like, am I gonna miss out on like a boys boozy golf weekends? Like, what the heck? That's like euphoria to me. That sounds like a utopian weekend.
Yeah.
The truth is, if I lived it, I'm gonna do something stupid. I'm getting a DUI, or I'm like, you know, blacking out and breaking my wrist again, or some stupid thing like that.
Yeah.
But in my head, I can make it. I can paint the picture like it's gonna be perfect.
Right.
Have you helped people get sober?
Yeah, I have. I try to be pretty public about it. You know, I don't specifically talk about the program because there's principles internally that, you know, suggest you do not do that.
Anonymity is the spirit of our tradition.
That's exactly right. But I'm allowed to talk about simply being abstinent from alcohol, and I like to be public about it because I know that when I was getting sober young, I got sober at 22, I remember thinking like, I don't know of any cool dudes my age that are doing it. You know, I had like people I looked up to that were older. And then when I got sober, I found a community of young people. And so I just thought like, you know, maybe if I blast some of this stuff out on social media or in interviews and stuff, randomly some person will hear it and they'll go, okay, he did it. Maybe I can do it.
Did you have that trampoline effect too? Like, I feel like sometimes I think it's a slow road to get your brain right when you're getting into sobriety, but I feel like for some people, they feel that like almost instant unlock, like they just got like weights off their shoulders and then they're kind of off to the races.
It's definitely different for everyone, and I think whatever your experience is, it will ebb and flow. Like I had a little pink cloud moment when I first got sober where I was like, this is the science, everybody should do this. And then, you know, life comes at you and life isn't perfect, and there were moments where I missed it, but I can tell you confidently that after a certain amount of time, you're just never anything but grateful.
Yeah, and I guess I meant with your work too. Did your work just like
with
like,
my work
way like stronger and more concentrated?
I was a pretty high functioning like person that used, so I didn't, it's not that I noticed a difference in my work. I noticed a difference in my emotional response to work and while working. Like work was just work when I did it back then, but now, and part of that is because I got more serious about my life and I was like, well, what do I like doing? And, you know, I've been fortunate to be able to do what I do. But I'm just more clear-headed, and that applies across the board for my life. So especially during work, I have moments where I'm just so grateful. I'm like, I cannot believe I get to do this. This is crazy.
And you were chill on set, man. Like, I think there's a lot of pressure. Like, you were the creator and you were starring in it. And so you had to look at the scripts, the direction, like every phase of the process. That's like a lot to have on you. And the set was fun. Like, and you put together a team of the other actors and shit, like we had such a good time kicking it with them. And I don't know if you were thinking about that when you were putting it together, but it's a lot to be thinking about.
It was the only thing I thought about. I was just like,
Dude, that's what I thought. How's the vibe gonna be?
Can I make this vibe? Well, the truth is I was, and this sounds like a talking point, but it really is the truth, is like I was a cog in a machine. Like, so I had help from so many people. My co-creators, the other writers, like the cast, you guys, you know, it's like I can only carry the baton so far. And I think that perspective helped me too. It's just like constantly reminding myself that, you know, without the crew, without the grips coming in, you know, I've worked behind the scenes long enough, and I was, you know, production assistant in writers' rooms and then on sets, and I was an assistant to a director for a season of a show, and I've just seeing how vital every like piece of the process is. It makes you feel unimportant in a way that I think is very healthy.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, he almost got that Steph Curry effect where he like grew up in the locker room, so he kind of sees what like the psychology needs to be to kind of survive it.
Yeah, that's actually a good comp. I think is probably, you just, it takes that sort of toxic self-importance out of the picture pretty fast. You know, like we're all just making silly fake things for people to enjoy, and like I don't get to write the words or speak them unless talented craftsmen are building the sets or, you know, highly focused, you know, assistants, production coordinators are like making the trains run on time. Like everything is equally as important. So it has helped me have perspective, because otherwise you can get a big old head.
And you kind of lean into that performance-wise too.
For sure, yeah. I mean, that's all I can do, to be clear.
How did you decide that, or how did you figure that kind of that tone out?
Well, I mean, the show is highly specific, right? In that it's based on a father-son dynamic that I've lived my entire life. And so I base the character a lot on myself. And I think that was really just, there's no magic sauce to it. They say write what you know, and that show is a prime example of it. I just tried to stay in my lane.
Dude, when you were doing the monologue in the last episode, I talked to you about this on set, right?
Maybe, I don't know.
You're getting pulled in a lot of direction, but when you were doing the monologue at the end about like why it's special to have kind of an eccentric, hard-charging father, and I was in the room and I was watching you, and I was going, "Oh fuck, man!" I was like, "This shit's so real."
Wow, I love that compliment. That's profound. I didn't mean anything I said. It's not special at all.
That was my sneaking suspicion. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, that's why you went, damn, he's a good actor.
I have that, dude. I have a lot of skepticism towards performers or like me and my girlfriend will be watching something. She's like, I like this person. I was like, they're nothing like that. I was like, that's phony baloney, dude. They know the camera's on.
No, the truth is like I think every actor, I was about to say the word artist, and I hate that, but you know, it's art.
Creative. We've had that debate on here, artist or creative. What's more like nauseating?
Yeah. I think artist is worse, so I'll say creative.
I think artist is better.
Really?
Okay, go.
Okay.
He loves, yeah.
I'm an artist, bro.
To each their own.
You're an artist.
Every artist, I hope you're happy. You know what?
Throw the shades on, dude.
Every artist. I think that everyone's different. Like some people have to really believe what they're saying, and some people can just slip in and out of it, is the truth. And I don't think it changes people's ability to perform. I think it's different. For me, I'm somebody who prefers to slip in and out of it.
That's what Downey Jr. says. He's like, I'm just a good liar. Like, I don't think it has to be like, it's funny because we're talking about Jeremy Strong. I think for him it has to be,
he's got to be in it.
He's got to be in it.
Yeah.
What was the time spent? Like, when did the first idea occur for Unstable?
Dude, the process is arduous. It is grueling. I brought the idea to God damn it. Whenever I see a glimpse of myself in the monitor, I'm fully erect.
Dude, shades of Steven Dorff.
You gotta hold the Zen thing.
I am, because it says chill. Hold on, ready? Imagine I just do the whole thing like this. I'm like, so when I...
That's the thumbnail.
So yeah. I'm like flexing the shit out of my jaw too. I'm like...
Yeah, dude.
Hold on. So
derobe, dude.
Yeah,
wow, dude.
Just get to the tank.
Oh my God.
I'll take my lid off.
People are going to get...
You take that, I'll take my shirt off.
If you take your shirt off, I'll take this off.
All right, just for a little bit.
Just for a little bit.
Don't have to ask me twice since I brought it up. I'm feeling a little fat though, dude.
I think you look good.
Tan there, too.
I was just about to say I think you look good.
Yeah, look at that
Bust a flex for me. Oh my.
Wow.
Can we see that? Hold on.
Yeah, 170 pounds.
Is there a 3 shot or is it just 2-1?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. I feel left out.
We had Frank Grillo on here, and I took my shirt off for him. I think he liked it.
Yeah, get right there. That's beautiful.
That's art, dude. I gotta feel it.
Are we all about to be cast in Fast and the Furious?
That's the dream, dude.
That's the dream.
That's the dream.
To be clear, you don't get there's nothing cooler than being cast in Fast and the Furious or an Adam Sandler movie.
Oh, is that those are the high achievements? That's like the brass ring we're all chasing?
To me, yeah. Happy Madison or Fast Furious. Wait, I was saying something, I think.
Oh, Unstable.
Oh yeah. It was basically 2 full years from the fruition of it, or from the sort of genesis of an idea to the full fruition of it. I tried to use a fancy word. I used it wrong. Yeah, and there's the way I describe it is like if the ladder is 17 rungs, you need 17 yeses to do it, and one no along the way fucks everything.
Yeah.
Which is so crazy.
I remember when we were doing our show, like there's all those steps, the pressure.
By the way, you guys worked with the Churnins, right?
Yeah.
I love them.
Dude, they're
buds,
great.
dude.
I love them.
Great guy.
They love you too.
I was a PA. I was just, just a not even. I was just a writer's room PA on the Mick for the first season.
Hilarious show.
Great show. And they were lovely and have been very generous with their time with me since then. I actually sent them, they were one of the first people I sent the idea of Unstable to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
And they told me, they were like, we're doing a show with these two ding-dongs.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. They called us ding dongs?
No, they didn't.
Oh, that's so sweet, though. I hope they do.
They,
we told them to call us that.
They were very fond of you.
Guess who's ding, guess who's dong.
Ding dong.
Yep.
Oh, dude,
You nailed it, bro.
damn.
Yeah.
I know, I've been wanting to be dong for
You
so
want to
long.
be. You're schlong, dude. It's heavier.
Schlong, dude.
It's meatier. It's heavier.
How are your guys' schlongs today?
Beef.
Dude,
That's it.
I'll be honest, I haven't slept much.
Okay.
Why aren't you sleeping?
I just
Let's
keep
talk
waking
about
up
it.
early.
Yeah, lifetime affliction.
I'll tell
Do
you
you
what
want
it
to
is.
throw
I'll
these
tell-
bad boys on right now and
got
catch
that
some
Yeah.
sleep? We
He's
can
got that
pretend like
front.
you're...
I'll tell you what it is.
Yeah.
So, going back to the vape.
Oh, you look fucking sick now.
You were born in those, dude.
Who's daddy?
That's a good hand gesture.
You look sick.
Yeah. That's the
Wow.
Toretto, where are we going?
It's all about family.
Yeah, I want to have a scene with Tyrese.
He's good.
I'm hungry. Well, I'm hungry too.
That and scene.
Was that good?
Yeah, man.
Oh, thank you. So, what was I gonna talk? What was I saying?
The vape keeping you awake.
Oh yeah, okay. So, going back to the vape, and then like, just nicotine, and then
Yeah.
that dopamine rush.
Yeah.
So I have like a love-hate relationship with the vape. I'll like get away from it for a few months, and then I'll have that. It's so true. I'll have that thought like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get vape," and my whole body
Tingles.
tingles.
Oh yeah.
Like the best rush ever. I start cranking Linkin Park.
Ooh.
I am cruising.
Yeah.
So I.
Top down, shades on.
Become so numb.
Going straight to the vape shop.
It's like whenever I had this too. Like when we first started like coming up, we'd go like viral on like Barstool. I hadn't started vaping yet, but I would get whenever I get really excited, I need like I'll get like a coffee and I'll just do sprints.
Whoa.
So I had that moment, and it wasn't anything in particular. I was just feeling good.
Yeah.
So I was like to my girlfriend, we kind of had the same thing. I was like, hey, what if I get a vape for just tonight?
I do that all the time.
Yeah.
I play through that scenario in my head all the time.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, just for the night,
Just
baby.
the night. I'll throw it away in the morning.
They're disposable.
But that's
anyway.
better, right? That's like a mark of improvement. Because in terms of like life disaster, the vape is pretty gentle.
Yeah, totally. But here's the thing. It's still at the house.
Oh.
And
next is crack.
And my addiction to it is so strong that I'll wake up early.
Yep.
Because my eyes will just go bing.
No, man,
And I'm
I'm-
like, I can go hit the vape.
I'm in the same boat. I wake up and I hit one of these first thing in the morning,
Yeah.
and to be clear, it feels terrible. Your body is not meant to arise from REM sleep and get punched in the face
Yeah.
with 6 milligrams of nicotine on an empty stomach.
I'm going to defend nicotine. It's good for you.
You hear that, big tobacco?
No, I guess this is my thing. So there's something in everyone's psychology that wants to feel a little bit off, right?
Thank you for like
Yeah,
Is feeling good all the time, is that too constrictive in a way? Is there its own kind of debilitating factors to that? Because I know when I'm being perfect in my behavior for a couple weeks, it stresses me out a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just uncomfortable with growing as a human.
I don't disagree with that general notion of like everybody needs a vice, but there are ones that don't slowly kill you over time or generate anxiety.
Like
you know?
golf?
Golf is one for me, but I don't know if it qualifies as a vice. I think vice has a negative connotation, but
a passion, a hobby.
An outlet. Exactly, an outlet. That's right. And I love golf. You guys.
Outlet malls.
Outlet malls. Damn, I just went somewhere when you said that.
Where'd you go?
Yeah.
I went to this mall that I used to go to as a kid.
Which one?
It's called Paseo Nuevo.
Is it nice?
It's in Santa Barbara, and you guys will get down with this.
Yeah.
Remember when you're in like 7th grade, and it's like Friday night, and the vibe was like you and the boys go to like the mall, or like the hangout area, and like you knew the cool girls were gonna be there, and you just hoped you'd run into them. You were wearing your like flat brim hat and like skinny jeans, and you were like, maybe we're gonna see a movie, maybe we'll sneak into an R movie, but we know at the very least we're getting CPK, and you would just cruise around, and then it was like one of your homies like girlfriend was there, and by girlfriend he'd kissed her once, and that was the mall that we would go to.
That's the best. You know, I went to a mall recently, and it seemed so empty.
Which one?
Westfield Culver, which isn't the best one.
That's a I would go as far as say a bad one.
Yeah, it's a bad one.
Yeah.
I also went to one in Spokane when we were there recently. Also felt empty.
Okay.
You go to Century City, it does not feel that way.
Century City is a vibe.
I mean, they shot Crazy Stupid Love scenes there.
Dude,
for a reason.
Good call. Here's my cue. Here's my cue. Are kids today doing that?
Yeah, they're going to the mall.
Are they?
I don't know if they're going to
can't
the
beat the
mall,
mall.
but there's still places I feel like I hope
It's got to have a movie theater.
that they're
Right.
loitering at.
Yeah, do kids loiter anymore? That's my question.
We should bring back kids loitering.
Yeah.
It was scary. Well, it's scary now. When I see a bunch of 14-year-olds walking, I'm like, dude, those kids will do anything.
Yes,
They
I
have
agree.
no fear in them yet. They're afraid of being afraid, and that's a dangerous person.
There's a great shouting out another podcast that I like, but on Pardon My Take, I think Big Cat he has this take of like there's nobody scarier than like California teens, like cool kids.
I believe it.
I think that's the right California, like especially surf vibe little groms who are so comfortable with themselves at such a young age that it's unnatural.
Yeah.
Where like you could pants them and they'd be like, this is my dong.
They'd stand strong.
They'd grow
They would
a
just
boner right there.
right there.
Yeah.
They might even laugh.
Yeah.
But like barely. They'd be like, huh.
They're laughing at you though. Yeah. Or with you maybe even, which is scarier. They're like, great one.
I mean, they've earned it though, because they're paddling into double overhead, and they know that there's adults who can't do it. So I think for them, they're like, well, check the stats. Like I'm able to do things that are undeniably adult, cool, and dangerous.
That's
So
exactly right.
You want me to be afraid? I'm not afraid.
Yeah.
I'll slash your tires, steal your girl. I'll take the deed to
Are we
your
about
house.
to have
I'll raise
our
your kids.
girls stolen by?
Dude, I went to lacrosse camp in San Diego at San Diego State.
Yeah.
That all
sounds
happened
gnarly.
to me.
Yeah.
Girl got stolen
No.
by a kid who flips his hair.
Oh yeah.
His name was Trey.
Whoa.
Blonde streaks, volcumed out. Going
He
like
sounds
this.
cool.
Going like this. He was so cool.
Yeah.
I was like, make out with him harder.
He's probably like the fucking president right now.
Yeah, dude.
Trey.
He was
Probably.
like, he stole my girl and he slashed my tires.
He slashed your tires?
He slashed my tires.
How old were you?
16. And then he threw a pokeball at my windshield.
He just wasted like good tuna like that?
Yeah.
Man.
Because I said,
Didn't you yell at him about how overfishing's a problem?
yeah, that was the thing. Because I was
That
like,
a strong response.
because I was like, dude, you're really gonna get tuna? Like,
Yeah.
we're kind of running low on the supply. Didn't you watch It was around the same time the Inconvenient Truth
Yeah.
came out. I'm like, you didn't watch Al Gore?
So couldn't have been that cool because he didn't care about the environment.
Yeah, he had some blind spots for sure.
Yeah.
And then like after he threw the bowl, you were like, come on, man.
Yeah.
There's barely any like yellow belly, bluefin. They're all dying. Don't you care?
Yeah.
He's like, I care about making out. And you're like, that's so short-sighted, Trey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not even going to be able to make out pretty soon.
I was
That's
like,
right.
I was like, imagine in 20 years a world without Torah. You know that slice of
Dude, that
and
just blew my mind.
Always
And then-
market price, dude. They can't even put a number on it.
And he's making out with my girl, and he's like, "This is my Torah." Oh, wow! And they just start tonguing each other.
Damn
Man,
it, that's
wash
so
your hands.
fucking cool.
Yeah, that guy's sick.
Damn it.
I heard he never aged. I heard kids like that who they peak so hard.
Yeah.
They pinnacle life so hard that
He's still 16.
yeah, whether it's like a blessing or a curse, depends on how you look at it. God just goes, "You're done."
Benjamin Chilton.
Yeah, and then you see him, and they're perma 15.
Still
They
making
got
out
the
with
wisdom,
chicks.
but they still got the energy, the same lifestyle as like a 15-year-old.
Does their mind get older?
They get a little bit. They've seen more shit, but they still have the same like perspective as a 15-year-old.
Sure.
But like a 15-year-old who was like there at Vietnam, who like was there at 9/11.
So it's a curse.
It is.
sounds like
Yeah,
It's a little Wolverine-y.
well, no, because I want to make it really clear what you said.
Mm-hmm.
This is a 15-year-old that was both present at Vietnam and 9/11.
Well, that's my negative mind making about the negative shit. But if you ask him, he was like, "Dude, I was at Woodstock."
Because it sounds like this kid's life is terrible. He has like the most traumatic PTSD imaginable.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a zealot for the catastrophes of life. But he would be like, "Bro, why are you making it about the negative?" Like, I was also there when the Yanks almost won the World Series that year.
I'm gonna just. And I'm gonna
made it negative again.
I'm still following you.
History's like we just look at it negatively, but he sees it as a progress.
Benjamin Chilton was like present for the nation's one of, if not the greatest tragedy, and also one of the most brutal wars. But he was fortunately there when the Yanks almost won.
Yeah, and he was stoked because he's 15, so they couldn't draft him into Vietnam. So
Okay,
then he's
chestnut checkers.
Yeah, he's just at all the concerts that are being like, "That war sucks," and he's like, "For sure, for sure."
Well, here's the thing too: is he's making out with chicks both times.
If he's making out with chicks, then it's all a wash.
See, I don't even want to tell this story because I don't want to blow up Ben's spot because he's been good to me, you know?
Yeah.
But he actually told me he was making out on the couch after a bender when 9/11 happened, and his girl had the TV on and everything flipped to the coverage. And he said, "Don't stress about that right now. Turn the TV off." And he had it like that. He had it like that. She got mellow.
I heard he went to Vietnam and he was fingering a girl
Yeah.
the whole time.
That's the thing is like because when you've seen that level of chaos and destruction, it
Yeah.
feels so shocking to us because it's our first time experiencing it.
Yeah.
But Chilton has seen mass death over the centuries, so for him, he's like, "It's Tuesday. Like, chill.
That's right.
We'll figure it out.
That's right.
The world works itself out. Now let me work that knot out on your shoulder, a little
and
massage.
what was he doing when the Challenger blew up?
Oh man, that was crazy.
He's fingering the teacher.
Yeah, he was in the class. He was in all those teachers who get in trouble for sleeping with their students, and everyone's like, "Why would a 30-year-old buxom woman sleep with like some prepubescent kid?" It's Chilton every time, and he's just like
The ghost of Chilton.
yeah, he's like Edward
He
Cullen
lives- he
staying in
lives on-
school and
yeah.
finding the next one. Yeah,
He just jumps
He
from
just-
body to body.
He just moves around, just making your junior high experience a little spicier.
What was your Chilton moment as a kid?
Like me with an older gal, or me seeing Massive Death?
Just like I guess pick.
Oh, bro.
What was more Chilton?
Dude, I remember my parents were funny because they knew it was like fun to have young people around at parties. So one time my parents, like we didn't plan it, but they were having a New Year's party and it was like good, but it wasn't great. And then we didn't really have options. And I was like, "Dad, what if I just have everyone come to this party?" And my dad was like, "Go for it." And so it was like a mixed party. It was like 100 adults getting pretty wild and like 100 teenagers. And you know when you're like that age and you just want to party like an adult.
Yeah.
And so me and all my boys were like, "Let's kiss older ladies today at like midnight." And a gentleman never tells, but that was the pursuit.
Did you do it?
I did. I kissed my dad's friend's girlfriend,
Oh,
but she
really?
kissed like 3 of us,
Wow.
almost in a row.
I just love how fast you folded.
like we all.
A gentleman never tells. Did you do it? Absolutely.
Yeah, bro, it's true. But like, I think it's all good. Like, dude, like it was so funny because she was pretty and sweet, and it wasn't serious.
Just
She wasn't
picturing,
she
like-
wasn't gonna like sleep with any of us. But like literally 3 of us like flirted with her throughout the night, and then she wasn't really dating. She was like casual with my dad's friend. He wasn't there. And then like 3 of us like escorted her to her car to say goodnight and like pulled it around, and then we all just kind of stood there, and I think she knew what the expectation was, and she was kind enough to give us all little smoochies and then take off.
A gentleman never tells. Did you do it? Yeah, her name was Stacy. She was 34. It was this day, and this is her social security number. How old were you?
17.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like I was going to be 18 in 2 weeks.
Very chill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was cool.
That's Chilton. What about you?
My Chilton moment?
Yeah.
Man, I'm trying to think of what kind of Chilton moment I want to go with.
Dig deep.
Because you like...
Cougars?
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't?
Yeah.
No, but he like...
Don't be shy.
He comes alive.
Yeah.
You feast.
I feast, yeah. I'd
Yeah.
say,
Or you like to be feasted on.
yeah, I like to be a cougar cub. I like to be...
I
you
could
know,
see you being a good cub.
Yeah,
for
I like
sure.
to be a cougar sub.
Whoa.
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 Yeah.
Let me suckle, mama.
Yeah.
Mama.
Just put feet in my face. And
Mama, I'm
just, like,
so
suck on
hungry. All the other little cubbies already got some milky milk.
So I think
Please give me a little one.
So you've never been with a cougar?
In my 30s. Does that count?
No.
I think
Game over.
It's over for you.
I went to a cougar bar in Newport when I was
That exists?
22. Yeah.
Oh, Javier's?
I think it was Javier's.
Yeah, that one goes off.
Actually, you know what? There was a cougar night at this bar at Stanford. Actually, now that I think about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you go to that? At Stanford, there's a cougar night?
It's not it's like a,
Oh, it's in, like, Palo
there's a
Alto?
hotel called the Rosewood
Okay.
in Palo Alto, and Thursday nights the Rosewood was cougar night.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I always had an interest in cougars, but I always looked so young.
Yeah.
So it's like when I was in prime cougar cub age, I just don't think, I think I looked too much, like, I wasn't as chill as Chilton
Sure.
to land a coug.
I mean,
Sure.
but bro, like, comparison is the thief of joy. Like, this is Chilton. He's got 200 years of just being the man.
I know.
He knows all the tricks.
I know.
There's plenty of time for us. There's still, I mean, cougars
That's the thing. The cougar number just moves.
Moves. It just
Yeah,
moves.
that's
Right.
true.
just moves.
Yeah.
It just moves.
Guys, I'm interrupting this podcast to let you know once again that we are on tour. Appleton, Wisconsin this weekend. 3 shows. If you're in the Wisconsin area, come on out. You're going to have a blast. I promise you. Q&A sessions, stand-up, all that good stuff. We're going to be in Fort Wayne, Indiana next month. We have some shows in LA, San Diego coming up, Hollywood Improv on June 27th. Get your tickets at chadjt.com. We're also brought to you by the dankest sponsor ever because it supports doggies. And you know how much I love doggies. Whether you have a puppy, a senior who's seen multiple decades, any dog person like me knows the most valuable thing in the world is spending time with your pet. And the farmer's dog can help to keep them healthy, which can give you more quality years with them, which is what we all want. You want your dog to be happy, healthy, looking good, jovial, running through the park, chasing dogs down, dominating, and they can do that with a good diet. The farmer's dog makes and delivers fresh, healthy dog food. It's recommended by vets, nutritionally balanced, made from human-grade ingredients in clean, safe kitchens. It's the best option for dogs at all life stages. Lola eats it. She's thriving. She's dominating at the dog park. She's got a shiny coat. Everyone's like, damn, that dog looks good. What are you doing? I'm like, it's the farmer's dog, baby. Because it's high-quality food. To get your nutrition in there. And they get for your dog like they keep your dog at an ideal weight. And what more can I say? They keep them healthy and happy. I feed it to Lola twice a day. She's just eats it all right away. Like it's not like in kibble, you're like, I don't even know what's in kibble. With this, you can see what's in it, and it's delicious and it looks good. Sometimes I want to eat it. So if you want that for your dog, you can get 50% off your first box by going to thefarmersdog.com/go deep. Go to thefarmersdog.com/go deep for 50% off your first box. That's thefarmersdog.com/go deep for 50% off your first box. All right, let's get back to the show.
Are you dating anyone?
I am dating myself right now.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's fucking hot.
Dude, Chilton would
bro.
approve.
Yeah. I take myself on dates.
Do
Yeah.
you like I've noticed that people will be single and they'll be like, I'm working on myself.
Mm.
And then I'm always like, that's hard to do without, because to me, like, when they say that, unless it's in the professional or like health sphere, and then I'm like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
you can do that without a partner. But if you're trying to be better at like a relationship, it's kind of like tennis. You need someone on the other
I'm
side of the court.
absolutely not working on myself. I'm regressing very quickly.
Okay.
I'm just dating myself.
That makes more sense.
I'll ghost myself occasionally, and like
Just to feel it.
Yeah, just to feel fucking alive.
Yeah.
My version of it, because I'm on strike, so I don't have much to do right now, and so like the other day I went and got a Phil's coffee by myself, and then looked across the street and saw a Five Guys, and I was like, my first thought was like, I don't need that today. I'm gonna be tired after that. And then I went, nah, man, let's do it. Let's do it. And I took my coffee.
Oh yeah, we fight about Five Guys a lot in here. We bought him a Five because he likes Five Guys more than In-N-Out.
Ooh, I don't think that's that spicy of a take. I think that I would still put In-N-Out.
It's pretty spicy.
I would let In-N-Out edge out Five Guys.
Thank you.
I would let In-N-Out edge Five Guys.
Oh.
But I think that Five Guys is very good.
Still bus.
I busted.
Do you go to
That's not what you said. Do you bust? Just in general.
Gentleman never tells, but like twice a day.
Nice, dude.
But that's like, look, that's me being like,
You're not saving your chi?
you don't want that. No one wants that.
Dude, I just saw...
I'm a mess to be around if I'm saving my chi. For me, it's just not watching porn. If I can not porn it, I'm good.
You want to hear something crazy?
Yeah.
I have not watched porn in over 6 months, over half a year.
That's awesome, man.
I just over it.
I've been trying to get there.
Over it. By the way, you don't miss it.
You don't?
No.
I do. I'm an addict to it. So like I'll literally I'm like 6 days off of it right now, and I've had some good runs. I've gone like 6 months, year.
Yeah.
But dude, I'll have dreams of me watching porn on the computer in my dream.
Well.
Yeah.
I mean, I have relapse dreams of me drinking. That's a real thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying, right? Because like it's only when I have a good chunk of time.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, because it's probably not even about me missing the porn. It's probably me being more afraid of fucking up.
That's
and then
exactly right.
And then when I wake up, there's that relief where you're like, oh, I didn't blow it. I didn't blow my
It's
time.
the guilt.
I'm good.
It's the guilt. It's not about the act. It's your psyche sort of taunting you about the future guilt.
Isn't that crazy? When you tell yourself that something is bad for you, your subconscious gets on board very quickly and is like, hey, that's true. This is a problem. And we will find ways to remind you.
Yeah. Usually your subconscious is ahead of your conscious, though. I love how easily we flow from like
everything.
Maybe the dumbest thing I've ever said in my life to like a very beautiful thought.
Absolutely.
That's what happens here.
Yeah.
And that's why this place is the shit.
Dude,
thank you. Yeah, we just want that flow.
Yeah.
Hence that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I love this. Wait, hold on.
Oh, yeah, let's
Dude, we got Aaron, the conductor, over there, just giving us
that feels
energy.
good, dudes.
That
I don't
feels
know
right.
if you know
This
this,
feels
but
right.
Aaron has every type of crystal on his desk.
No way. I'm a big
Yeah.
amethyst guy.
Yeah, is that what's on the ring?
This is just what is it, like turquoise? What am I thinking of? We might
alabaster.
need his. What am I working with here? That's what I thought.
Oh, like color, or is it like?
Isn't that what it's called?
That's the color.
yeah, I think
but
it's
is it
just
like a rock?
What's the stone called? That's what I thought.
Turquoise is a stone. Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
They have it everywhere in New Mexico.
That's not. It's a beautiful color. It was my favorite color for a long time.
Goes to my eyes.
that's cool.
Make the eyes pop. Does it have any kind of like? Is there a spiritual property to it?
My mom's a jewelry designer, so
okay.
she gave it to me.
Your mom's really sweet. I met her at the premiere.
Did you?
She was so nice to me. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah,
that was a
really
fun
sweet.
premiere, right?
That was so fun, dude. That was my first red carpet experience.
If I'm being fully transparent, like that's the first time I've ever. Well, that's the first one of that caliber I've ever walked where I had anything to really do with it.
Yeah, I was like I just wasn't expecting.
Isn't it surreal?
All the press questions,
dude.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys had the same feeling. I'm a man of crippling insecurities and self-doubt, where it's like people ask you questions and I'm like, you care? Like you care what I think about this thing?
I had the exact same thought. I'm like, why would you ever print this?
I'm like, the guy to the right
Yeah.
has to know more than me about this thing, or is more interesting, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's a very strange feeling.
And then they're like, so what was it? You're like, oh, it's just like, like immediately go into that.
When
like,
I did the press junket for Unstable, that was the biggest hurdle for me. Was like getting over that. inner voice where like, you know, and there was endless examples, but like I can remember certain ones specifically. Like I think on the Today Show, like Hoda, who like loved the show, which was so strange.
Yeah.
Was asking specific questions, you know, or whatever it was in any interview where they were like, you know, in Luna and Jackson's relationship, what do you think like the future holds? And you know that little voice in the back of your head that speaks for you before you actually talk? Mine would go like, ask him if he's fucking with you. Do they really care?
Right.
Oh, that's
and I'm
funny.
like, what is it? What?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I know I care about this, but they care. It's
Yeah.
a really incredible moment because you made something and people are invested in it.
That's so relatable too. If you said, "Are you fucking with me?" that would come across so combative. But it's really relatable because it's not coming from a combative place.
No,
it's more like
self-doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But that'd be so funny. You said you're just like, "Are you fucking with me?"
Yeah, yeah.
You're like, no, we're literally interviewing
Yeah.
you about your TV show.
Well, there's a way to say it that because you could go like, "Are you fucking with me?" Like it's like
You can make
sort
it
of
gentler.
earnest.
Yeah.
And then there's the version where you're like, "Are you fucking with me?" You know, and it's like the
You
person
fight them.
you fucking take your shirt off.
Dude.
Oh, it's really funny. Yeah, my show. Yeah, it's so funny. Like
you want to
kick the
watch
camera
it.
over.
yeah.
How did you feel when you saw it hit the top 10?
You know, that's a layered question because in a similar sort of vein of what we're talking about, it's hard to just take the win. It's very much like being a fan of a sports team, which I think we were talking about maybe before we hopped on, but like the highs are not that high, but the lows are very low. So, you know, I can remember seeing it start charting and going like, whoa, this is cool. I wonder how long until it disappears from the zeitgeist forever and nobody knows about it. You know, and I'm like,
natural thinking though.
or like
impossible.
you
to
see it
not
at
do
3 and you're like, yeah, I knew it wasn't going to get to number 1. Where it's like, what an insane line of thinking where it's just take the win and get off the field. That's great.
It's like this thing where you're like, it's the thing you like wanted, where you're like yes. And then 2 seconds later, I want more.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
That is the great struggle with
Is that America?
fuck yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is it good though, dude?
4th of July shit.
Yeah. Or let's
Capitalism.
just keep going. Keep build. What this tastes good. What might taste better?
Yeah, I do think there's a certain piece of it that is, you know, self-motivation. You gotta you can't ever become complacent.
Stayed.
When we saw it hit the top 10, we were on a flight to Portland, and JT like ran back to my row. He's like, dude.
Really?
He's like,
I love
pumped,
that.
dude. I
That
was
makes
very
me
excited.
very happy.
I think what was that number 8 at that point?
I think it was like
when it first broke.
Yeah.
Is that like 8 or something?
Well, dude, you make stuff, and of course it feels good to make stuff, and you want to put your heart into it, and you want to enjoy it for what it is. But you also want it to land with people.
Yeah.
You want people
Yeah.
to care.
Yeah.
And then when you get that number,
Yeah.
it's top 10.
Dude, it was very surreal. It
Like
was very
there's only
strange.
7 other things that people are watching more than this, and that
Yeah.
number hits you, and you're like, this matters.
Yeah.
And then you just
Yeah.
like it's like I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
Is it psychotic? Nah.
No. And again, like I took time, I made space
Yeah.
to celebrate it because you have to. I was like, holy shit, this is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's still hard to like when people come up to me, which is not often, but like when people come up to me and oh, I liked your show or whatever, it's my initial instinct is like, is this like a friend of my parents?
Right.
Like, did they tell him to watch the show? It's
Yeah.
still, I think that's healthy. Is like
Yeah.
the initial response, but then I go like, no, this is cool. They just like it.
Yeah.
They're down to vibe.
That is a bummer when someone does recognize you and you're like, oh, a fan. And then they're like, I actually know your cousin. And you're like, so you're not really a fan. Like, you came to it through familiar channels.
I was sitting with my friend out in front of Erwan the other day, who's a successful comedian, and this woman came up to us and
Kevin Hart?
was a gentleman never tells.
Yeah, you're better about this
It was
than I am.
Chilton.
But it was Kevin. Yeah. No. And this woman came up and was like shaking. She was so excited, and she goes, I don't remember the specifics, but she said basically something along the lines of, oh my gosh, it's so incredible to see you guys. Like, I'm such a huge fan. And it seemed in that moment like, okay, she knows both of us. And then she turned to my friend and was like, and when you did this thing, I was actually in the audience and you did this little dance. And I remember the dance. And then she kind of looked back at me and she was like, and this is just crazy. Anyways, can we get a picture? And I was thinking to myself, I'm like, all right, I'll take that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
That's a tough one too. That was just in the Nicole Holliff Center has a new movie called You Hurt My Feelings, and at the end it's two actors, and both actors are stoked on the show, but then people only come up and want photos with one of the actors, and then the other actor's just like, I gotta get out of here, and takes an Uber. And it was like a very small, but it struck me because I was like, that is part of this thing. Like after a stand-up show, when people want photos a little bit more with this comedian than they do with you, you're like, it's sad. You get a little bum-skied.
Yeah, I mean, it's an emotional business we're in, you know.
Chefs too, right?
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, chefs too, for sure.
That's gonna be tough.
Do you guys cook at all?
Just started. Yeah, I made some burgers. Thank you for bringing it up.
I love cooking.
I made a first time ever. Gas grilled some burgers yesterday.
How fucking good does it feel?
Dude, it was an amazing. I had a nice guy, Jason. Big shout out to Jason. Good dude. He coached me through it.
Hell yeah, Jason.
He was tender. And when he left, he just looked at me. He's like, "So remember, 4 minutes one side, 4 minutes the other side, 2 minutes one side, 2 minutes the other side." I was like, "Bro, I'll never forget."
That's friendship.
And we slapped hands.
I used to. My girlfriend loves to cook, so I let her cook.
I feel like once you get a girlfriend, you
That's
stop
what kicked me into it.
Oh, really? I feel like it's the other way around.
Oh,
I
interesting.
feel like I cook more when I don't, when I'm not in a relationship.
I would do I was very simple with it, like steak, avocado, kimchi.
I'm the same way. Well,
Yeah.
Kimchi. Do you make the kimchi?
Yeah,
That's not that simple, man.
I have a huge vat.
Really?
No,
That's
I'd buy it at Air One.
Is it hard to make kimchi?
yeah. It's like
takes
pickling,
time,
you're like
right?
pickling something essentially, right? No.
It's
You're
pickled
making
cabbage.
Yeah.
You should pickle, dude.
I do want to learn how to pickle.
Maybe.
But I do.
Get a little
I would pickle with you guys.
Let's pickle.
Are you for real?
Yeah, I think from my biggest takeaways from this so far are that we should pickle together, and then we're all gonna together go to a sperm bank and donate our sperm anonymously.
Maybe on Cougar Night.
Whoa, you just blew my fucking mind. In a way, that is.
It works.
Imagine there was like an anonymous, like system, right? Of where it was like cougars, where like I want a young buck to inseminate me.
Hot.
You like it?
That sounds
Dude,
awesome.
you used every word right there.
Yeah.
That's how it should sound.
And then they go, "I'll take you," and you're like, "Me?" And then it's Chilton right there, and you're like,
Chilton.
Chilton.
Yeah.
No, but he's a ghost, and then he
Right.
climbs into your body,
Right.
and your dick gets 2 inches bigger than it is normally.
Yeah.
And
Dude,
you're
we
like-
gotta kill Chilton. We kill him.
So he
So his
possesses
spirit.
That's how it
the
works.
Chilton
That's
spirit
how you
has
have to
to
kill.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
If all three of us stab him at the same time, we don't need 100% Chilton in us.
No,
Split it up into thirds.
that's right.
33.3 forever.
That just fired me up.
I know. I got fired up thinking about that.
Yeah.
Not the killing part, the inseminating.
Dude, yeah. Just the word inseminating
It's powerful.
sounds good.
I feel like I could be inseminating right now in a way
Whoa.
with my ideas though.
That's what it is. It's brain shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They need to
That's
start
why it's
saying that
called
in
going
school
deep.
more. I'm going to inseminate all of you
Yeah.
students with all of my ideas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I got fired as a teacher. Yeah.
Yeah, I came in
Wow.
too hot.
Yeah. You walk.
I even
walk
I
into
was
a-
like, I'm gonna bust ideas into all of your heads.
You walk into your job interview as a substitute. You're like, I just can't wait to inseminate all my students with ideas.
loads of ideas into all.
You
of
trail
you.
off though. I can't wait to inseminate all my students with ideas.
I said ideas. I said ideas.
What?
I was being
What?
provocative. You have to grab them by their their shirt collar.
Yeah. What? I'm gonna bust a nut,
Mm.
and then I don't know how that bit finishes. I think at that point you are just coming.
I think that's it. You landed it. You just say, I'm
Yeah.
gonna bust a nut, and then you get into the game plan. For
Then
the
you
day.
look in a corner of the room and there's like a little kid acting nutty, and you go busted,
Mm.
and that's comedy.
That's all
That's
it is.
that.
Yeah.
Do you want to answer some cues? All right, here we go. What's up, legends? My name is Chuck, and I'm looking for some advice on my long-distance relationship. It's actually going well despite the distance. I'm in the Midwest, and she's in NY. She came to visit me about 6 months ago, and we'll be back next week. It's been mad chill. We talk all day when we can, but neither of us get the physical aspect of a normal relationship. We don't bone, and I'm staying abstinent for when she visits, and I expect the same for her, since that's what she's telling me. Nice, a lot of trust. She's not opposed to moving here, so the distance isn't so tough. But that's a huge deal considering we've been talking for just under a year, and this weekend will be our second weekend spending time together in person. Neither of us are in a rush, but I'm wondering how much longer we'll have to plan out trips to be with each other. It's not financially chill on the bank account, and taking off work isn't always an option. Any advice, Stokers?
Oof. That's a tough one.
That is tough.
You know what, dude? You're being a little cuckoo bananas. You're worrying about stuff. You're thinking long term. You're anxious on several fronts. I get it. You're in love. I say go for it. Have her move in. Take this thing out for a test drive. See if it works.
You can always boot her.
You guys break up. You move on. You learn that was a mistake. Is it going to bring a lot of potential sadness to your life? Potentially, but it could also bring... It could work. I always think go for the pie in the sky thing. See if it works. Also, at the same time, you can't just break up because it doesn't make sense.
I don't know. That's tough, man. That guy, I think my advice would be, they say he's only hung out twice in a year.
Yeah, they've only hung out twice. I mean, dude,
as far as I know, that's not a relationship.
No, they're not. But she's in. But they might not know what in means.
That's
this might be their first foray into dating.
I think he should have her come here. She says she's
on
not
the
opposed
podcast.
To the podcast. Come on the podcast and we'll mediate.
We'll inseminate.
Yeah, we need to talk to them first and get to know them because we don't know.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Oh,
simultaneously.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. If they're
simultaneous insemination.
Perfect.
And I think also have her come out. She says she's not opposed to moving out here.
No.
Show her the best time ever.
Yeah.
Dude, just have fun.
Take her to like the Strand in Manhattan Beach.
It's not, and the thing that's, I mean, he mentioned it in there, but it's not about the sex. Like, it's about, intimacy is like being in physical proximity to the person you care about. You need that. You don't, I mean, sex is an important part of a relationship, but what's far more important is like spending actual physical time with someone.
Developing rapport and feeling what it's like to be near that person on a regular basis.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he's jumping a lot of levels here. I'm guessing this is like one of his first relationships.
That was my sense too.
Ever. And so I'm going to take back everything I said and say, go slow. Don't stress about it so much. And just get to know her as best you can under the circumstances and try to just take it a day at a time.
I had an experience like this in college where this girl, I was inexperienced, so I thought I was dating her. This is kind of sad, but I thought I was dating her because I just didn't really know. And so I was living in Newport at the time, and I was like, you should just move here. I was still a sophomore in college. I was like, you should just move here. And I kind of rushed it. And then it fell apart quickly. So
I think that's how you learn.
Yeah, I did learn a good lesson.
That's a good lesson.
Broke my heart.
I think this guy needs to learn that lesson. Richard Pryor says you're not a man. You get your diploma when a woman breaks your heart.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm pushing you into something that I think could lead to that, or you could break her heart too, and that's devastating.
Yeah.
But that's like, dude, love is a contact sport. people get hit in the heart.
I think ask her to move in with you and work at Billabong with you. That's what I did.
That's right. I like that. I would say definitely get her out there with you.
Mm-hmm.
Would you trade the experience of the pain that you went through for what you learned from that pain?
No. Yeah, I would.
You would? Okay.
Yeah. In a heartbeat.
No, don't invite her to move in with you, dude.
No, just keep jerking out.
Don't do it. All right, next part. Chad, what's your beef of the week?
My beef of the week. It's just waking up early. No, okay, I had a better one. Having to pull my phone out while I pee. I'm so addicted to the phone that even while I'm peeing, I have to look at it. Yeah. And then I always miss.
Do you ever do that thing where you try and time it out, where you flush a little early and see if is this just me? Am I crazy? Like you're peeing and then you are maybe in your head guess that you're 5 seconds away from being done, so you flush because the flush takes 5 seconds and you try and time it perfectly.
Yeah, you want that kind of beautiful synchronicity.
Yeah, it just saves you that 5 seconds that otherwise you would have to. I'm saying too much now.
No, I do the same thing, man. But when I drop logs, right when I feel it come out the butt, I hit flush.
Simultaneous flush.
That was very Formula One driver-esque.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to...
Shaving seconds.
Yeah.
I'm all about saving.
It's a little cheaper by the dozen, right? Just being an optimizer.
That's
like,
right.
Is it faster buttoning up or buttoning down?
Yeah,
It's those little games in life that keep it fun.
that's right. What's your beef of the week?
My beef of the week, we talked about it earlier. HBO turning into Max. It didn't need to happen. It was HBO. It meant something. It was up here. It was up here. And now it sounds, look, the sad part of it is in 5 years I'll adjust. And I might not even remember that it was an HBO. But I didn't want to forget that. I didn't want to have to tell my kids, like, oh, there was this thing called HBO. I wanted them to experience it with their own eyeballs. And
To be clear, I think the channel still exists.
It's like a subsection, right?
Yeah,
but it's like the first, like,
I know what you mean.
it's the first domino.
Yeah.
And the last one is the grave. That's the last thing that gets knocked over is your gravestone.
Damn.
What's your beef of the week?
My beef of the week? My beef of the week is, let me think on it for about 10 seconds. I'll come up with it. My beef of the week is, probably with Erewhon.
It's too good.
The lines are just getting too long at Erewhon.
Which one?
I go to the one that's that's new. It's open by where I live, in the Sportsman's Lodge. It's like Sherman Oaks, Studio City. And my beef is quite simply that too many people go there now.
It's a hot ticket.
Yeah, and it's hard.
It's brutal, bro.
Can I just, like, take a moment to be serious on here?
Yeah. And then, dude, the parking sitch.
Dude,
Stuck behind 36 Teslas.
it's like,
You can't even light them on fire. They're fireproof.
who has time for this? Who has time?
I remember I was at the Erewhon in West Hollywood.
Yeah.
Bono came.
Holy shit.
He had to wait in line.
Bono didn't have his own line?
No.
He wasn't floating?
Dude, I looked behind me, it was
Like,
Bono.
what are we doing?
They made Bono wait in line.
The guy stopped the war in Ireland.
And he's like looking, and I look back at him, and he's like, my buffalo cauliflower's cold.
Yeah.
Was he wearing sunglasses?
Oh, yeah.
But think about that. Seriously, think about that. He was wearing sunglasses. I love that. Think
Yeah.
about the fact that now, like,
He really was wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, he says he's light sensitivity
Dude, he
issues.
was.
No one's buying it, but that's what he says.
Dude, he was.
I gotta end with them on. Yeah, think about it. Like,
Yeah, if someone down to earth like Bono can do it, dude, you can get away with it, brother.
That's right. That's right. And now picture me. I'm in Erewhon. I got my coconut chicken tenders, my mixed broccoli greens, and my buffalo cauliflower, and I'm stuck behind 15 fucking people,
Yeah.
and my shit's getting cold.
It's already a little cold too. Their hot bar's not very hot.
What are we supposed to do?
It's lukewarm at best. I'm telling you, brother. I've been through that struggle.
Do you think you can
I've
fit this
suffered
whole
those
microphone in your mouth?
indignities. No, I have a small mouth. But I kiss big, but my mouth is small.
We should take this to Karen Bass,
Yeah.
the mayor.
The Erewhon thing.
Yeah.
Okay, not his small mouth.
Yeah, I'm like,
We could do both.
just go to her and be like, I know you have your list of priorities like homelessness, traffic. Just put Erewhon at the top.
Yeah, I think that's valid. I mean, which one are we gonna solve first? You know?
I mean, Erewhon, I see. Just like, you could fix this.
Right now, you can
Right
fix
now,
this right now.
Yeah, add another,
What's stopping you?
You're in
add
your
another
office, it's just
cashier.
us three, and we're like, what are you doing
Yeah,
about this?
It's a super valid question because
Yeah.
we're like, look, this will take you 2 minutes.
Yeah.
What's got you so busy?
Why don't we have another
Bono had to
cashier?
wait in line.
Yeah. Do you fucking understand that Bono's buffalo cauliflower got cold in West Hollywood of all places?
And he was like, I should move back to Ireland.
You sent Bono back to Ireland.
He said that?
Yeah.
Man. That Dublin suck if we lost him.
You know who the cashier was there?
Who?
Chilton.
No.
Holy shit.
Yeah. He wasn't even phased by Bono.
No.
That
I was like,
Forrest
it's
Gump
cold
with
now, and he's
charm,
like-
motherfucker.
He's like,
It's chill.
here, give it to me.
With Riz.
Warmed it up with his
Just use
hair.
the word Riz.
He said, "What's that? You got water in your hand?" And he grabbed it and it turned into Dr. Pepper. 23 flavors.
His teeth don't get yellow from it. No. Chad, who's your babe of the week?
My babe of the week. My babe of the week. I gotta go Succession.
It deserves it.
I mean, I'm not gonna give any spoilers away, but I think they really stuck the landing. Do you watch Succession?
Not only do I watch Succession, I don't know where I'm going with this. I watch Succession. I'm so in. I'm like on Twitter threads and like I'm looking at I'm
the
all
podcast.
In. Yeah, I don't want to spoil it either, but that is definitely a babe for sure. I think that's one of, if not the best show made in the past like 10 to 15 years.
Yeah. I after we finished it, I looked at my girlfriend. She was like, "That was good." I was like, "Yeah."
It was so competent, every level. The writing, the acting, the filmmaking. It was and it was a beautiful finale. Yeah. Like hour and a half. It's longer than a movie. I was thinking about like Squid and the Whale is one of my favorite movies. It's like 86 minutes.
This doesn't
that
spoil
Succession
anything.
Finale was longer.
To be clear, I don't think this spoils anything, but the line "cunt is as cunt does" is like a seminal piece of writing.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, maybe you know what? I'll use it as my phrase of the week for getting after it. We have a thing where we can maybe drop some, and we'll do it Succession style today.
Yeah.
We'll do Succession.
I
quotes.
did have Macho Man Randy Savage for my quote, if that's cool.
Okay, stick with that.
You know what? I'll just make him my legend, and I'll do a Succession quote.
Okay. Perfect, bro.
Yeah.
What an adjust.
Thanks.
Nice pivot.
My babe of the week is. This cracked me up. I watch the Defiant Ones all the time. I love that doc on
that's so
HBO
good.
or Max now.
Really good.
And they show, I guess Jimmy Iovine, the guy who started like Interscope Records and like was the producer on like Bruce Springsteen and like Tom Petty and just like the best music for me. They show highlights of football games at his house, and there's one where Iovine blows the top off the coverage and sprints down the sideline and scores a beautiful backyard football touchdown.
Whoa.
But what cracked me up about it, and I think you guys will be hip to this too, is that like, he gave them the most intense notes on that part. He was like, "You find my touchdown," and you put that in the documentary.
Of course.
Because every time I watch it, I get hyped. I'm like, dude, he's fast. I'm like, Ivine's an athlete.
Yeah.
But there was like a million plays where he bobbled it, dropped it, and he was like, that's not going in the doc. I remember the touchdown. I remember the day. Go into the archive footage and put that tutty in this show.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it. It's a beautiful, beautiful touchdown. So I guess that touchdown's my babe of the week.
Yeah, it's a touchdown.
Who's your babe of the week?
My babe of the week. My babe of the week is probably probably like Jimmy Butler. Just because I claimed I wasn't a sports guy, but I do like sports. I am a sports guy.
We were just saying because we're SoCal people, we just don't get as distraught when our teams lose.
Yeah, I'm not emotionally crippled by it. But Jimmy Butler, because if he had lost Game 7, that's like career.
It's a can around his tail forever. It's first thing people bring up.
So the stones that it takes to go into Boston and win, he earned my babe of the week.
Mm. He's a beast, man. I love it. And I heard someone else saying this, like if he would have lost, he would have taken all the responsibility for it.
For sure.
Like he's just a tough, cool, like leader.
Himmy.
I love watching him play. And the way he plays, where he's just kind of barreling into guys in the post. It's not like dunks and threes.
Sexy.
He's got to fight for all those buckets. He's tough, man. He is hot. Chad, who's your legend of the week? We got to the crux of it.
My legend of the week is Macho Man Randy Savage.
Nice.
Specifically for this one quote where he says, "Don't buy any unripe bananas because you won't live to eat them." The specificity there.
I just bought unripe bananas literally this week.
You're an optimist.
To make banana bread with. Because that's the kind. He has never made banana bread.
Nice.
I'll say this much. I like that quote, but Macho Man Randy Savage has never made homemade banana bread. Otherwise, he'd know that you have to buy those.
That'd be a good rebuttal. I'm making banana.
I'm making banana bread.
But I'm making banana bread.
Can you imagine him? He's like, damn.
That makes sense, brother.
Yeah.
Enjoy that banana bread.
Yeah.
Don't buy ripe bananas.
You saved me a piece.
My legend of the week, got to be new cereals.
Wow, dude.
Dude, I just went and bought a bunch of cereals.
When
What's going on with this legend of the week right now?
They're always coming out with new cereals. Now the thing is like they got like a health bent to them, but they still got peanut butter. It's
Three
still,
Wishes?
I don't even know what the name of this one.
Write
I think it was
down.
Puffins.
That's not new, bro.
How old is it?
At least a couple years. At least.
I mean, for me, I'm not as hip
peanut butter
to the
puffins.
cereal scene.
I was having peanut butter puffins as a kid.
Well, see, this is like you knew about the Strokes before me, and to me, it's a brand new discovery. Like I just heard
I'm
last
not
night.
gatekeeping. I'm happy you found it.
Yeah, like I'm just stoked on it. But
I'm a Fruity Pebbles guy still, though.
a Stalwart, those are brand new.
Fruity Pebbles?
Fruity Pebbles new on the scene.
No.
I gotta try those. Those sound cool.
Oh my god.
I heard about this other new cereal. You guys heard about it? Lucky Charms?
I'm gonna jump off a roof.
They're new.
Yeah, I heard about this
No.
guy, Captain Crunch.
I haven't heard it. Is that like
He's a guy and he makes cereal.
that's cutting edge?
Yeah.
Like Tony Tiger?
Yeah. They're at the co-op in Culver City
Huh.
making cereal.
We should go.
Who's your legend?
My legend is my legend is probably my roommate slash best friend Michael, because he just like keeps he like rents like a room in my house, like an ADU, and he just keeps the house so clean, and that guy's a
That's
legend.
awesome.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Do you guys hang out at night?
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome.
What do you guys talk about?
Just like hood rat shit.
Do you live in when did you start living in LA full time?
Right after college, so
Okay.
like 2018.
Oh, cool.
But I live not far from here now. I live in Sherman Oaks.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Do you go to Santa Barbara a lot?
Yeah, I go back
Yeah.
a decent amount.
Does your dad drive up for like to set from Santa Barbara?
He's a driver,
Okay.
so it's not that impressive of a feat.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does that commute. He's a psycho.
Yeah, because I heard him on Smartless saying he gets up at like 5.
He gets up at 5 and then goes into his car that has like a custom built cockpit that he can sleep in, and puts his eye mask on, and then they drive him straight onto set
Oh, right.
and wake him up with a coffee in his hand. And everyone's been waiting on him.
Yeah.
So he's not fucking waking up at 5.
We're on a quote?
Quote.
Oh, Succession? What do I...
Or we can, yeah.
Succession quotes.
Bro, I'm so mad at myself.
I gotta dip very shortly, fellas.
We'll be done in
Okay.
3 minutes.
Perfect.
Shit. This is just it's not a funny one, but it's I love you, but I can't stomach you.
Yeah,
It's a good
I
one.
really love you, but I can't. Yeah, I can't. Oh God, Shiv.
Yeah.
Oh,
Shit.
I'll go with Succession. Dude, I was going to do the Philip Roth one from Portnoy's Complaint talking about his dad's dick, and I forgot the book again. You're my new beef of the week, me. Dude, my quote is from Succession. It's when Stewie's trying to say he's a wild man, and Kendall's all laid back in the big chair, and he's like,
oh yeah.
he's like, you like pancakes and waffle, and you like to kiss guys when you're on Molly. Such a good summation of it.
Yeah, that is so good. That's a great one. I love that.
It was
pick.
like my favorite line ever. I was like, oh, I know that person.
I'm sticking with Kendall. Cunt is as cunt does.
Yeah.
That is just perfect. Pay the writers.
What's your
Yeah.
phrase that we forget after it?
Pay the writers.
Pay the writers.
Yeah.
And pay the riders too. In
Yeah.
F1.
I don't know. They make a lot of money.
Do they?
I think so.
Yeah.
Pay the writers.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you so much for coming
That
in.
was so fun, man.
It was
Yeah.
really fun.
This
Dude. It
was
was good
great.
hanging. Thank you for
This was
coming through,
awesome.
man.
Dude,
Appreciate
yeah.
you.
Guys, check out Unstable if you haven't seen it already. If you haven't seen it yet,
Yeah, what are you
doing? Dude, in sync, bro.
Let's fucking ride, bro.
All right.
Let's go to a sperm bank.